Hello everybody, welcome to a Facebook Live with Jeannie. I am Jeannie Nielsen, the card lady, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. About 5 minutes ago, I'm like, oh my goodness, what did they do to my bottom panel so that I can show you cards right side up? And then I found it, and then when I went live, it went back to where I needed it to be. Before then, it gave me the option of raising money. It gave me the option of allowing you to rewind. What? I don't know. Anyway, we're back to normal, and I'm here, and I'm very excited to share a double Z fold card with you today. I made one of these recently at a retreat with my good friend Celine. It's a really, really pretty card. I know it's really hard to see, and when I go down, I'll show it to you a little bit better. And then I made one next week for my retreat. My retreat is on Saturday, April 30th. It's Tiptoe Through the Tulips. So I had to make some make and take cards. I'm making fancy fold cards. I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. This is what it looks like. I know it's backwards. I'll show it to you upside down really quick when we go down again. But you got to wait for that because I have a couple of other things to talk to you about. First of all, don't forget that hi Rose, good to see you. I'm so excited to see you. I love double Z fold cards too. I made one recently and I made it wider with the designer paper, and this one is a little bit narrower. So there are all kinds of options, all kinds of measurements that you can do. But the main thing is it doesn't matter. I'll show you. I'm going to show you. But anyway, okay, so don't forget, you have until Sunday to donate to the Making a Difference for Ukraine fundraiser that I'm doing with my friend Judy from Nebraska, my friend Michelle from Tennessee. We are trying to raise money for the Lifting Hands International, which is the same fundraiser that Stampin' Up! And Sarah Douglas did a couple of weeks ago. So we felt like it would be a good one for everybody to stand behind. We feel if Stampin' Up! Can stand behind, and they obviously did their research, if they're going to donate thousands of dollars, then we can too. It's actually based in Utah. I don't think it's Salt Lake City, but I'm not positive. But besides the Ukrainian refugees, they make a difference for many other groups too. So I do know it's a very worthwhile cause. But it's $40. You get $35 worth of product in the goodie bag, etc. You get a card class, you get a Zoom link, and we'll be doing a Zoom, or you can come to our studios if we're holding it. I know I'm going to have an open studio. And $10 of the $40 goes to them. So we're doing as much as we can. So please, please, please donate. When I finish this video, I'm going to put the link in the description so you can still do it. You've got a little bit of time. Anyway, that's the first thing. The next thing that I have to, and I'll show you the cards because last week I talked about it, forgot to show you the cards. Hi Jenny, good to see you. Now Jenny is Judy's downline and she's helping her. So I'm going to show you the cards that we're doing. Jenny, before I forget, I just found the stamp set I was supposed to mail to you. It's going in the mail tomorrow. Okay, and then, I'm doing paper shares, brand new to me, and I'm doing an in color club. I've got to show you my favorite card. This is showcasing every month for 5 months. If you do the monthly thing, you're going to get different cards, and these cards are going to showcase the different colors. This is the Sweet Songbirds. Look at how adorable that is. I just love it with the designer paper. This is Starry Sky, and the designer paper is the new in color stack. Here it is in Tahitian Tide, I believe it's called. Sweet Sorbet. Orchid Oasis, and this one is Parakeet Party, which should be Parrot Party, especially from the coloring. So I'm going to show you those real quick, and I'm going to be sending an email tomorrow, so make sure you're on my email list. Hi Juanita, I never get to say hi to you. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to flip down now. Hopefully I have said everything I wanted to say, and I'm going to show you everything. The double Z fold card that I'm going to make today is going to use the Pansy paper, the Pansy DSP. Now, one thing I love about the Pansy DSP and the Pansy bundle, which is still in stock, it may be carrying over, I'm not positive, but I know from experience that when you have a bundle that is going out, or a bundle that's staying but the designer paper is going out, that you want to get the stamp set or the paper so that you can make multiple cards next year as well. I know that I had like the Poppy Petals stamp set. And when the poppy paper went away, I hardly used it. So make sure you stock up on the paper. It's still in stock. I just checked today because I ordered some more. And I'm going to show you one birthday card really quick. My goodness, I've got a lot to talk about. This is tonight's birthday, one of the cards for tonight's birthday card class. So, okay, without further ado, let's go down. Welcome, everybody. Make sure you are on my mailing list where it says sign up. You're not necessarily signing up for Stampin' Up. You're signing up for my mailing list. And every card that I do in my Facebook Live, I send a recipe card with a tutorial the following Monday or Tuesday. So you want to be on my list. I had several subscribers last week. I hope they enjoyed getting their classes. Okay, here we go. We're going down. Okay, so here we are. Sorry, I try to make not make a mess, but you know me. I am a very messy stamper, which means I'm very creative. So first, let's look at these cards. These are 3 of the cards that I made, and they're only 3 of the 9 cards, and we're going to show you other examples as well in the tutorials. There's not a lot of stamping in this. This, I just popped, I cut the circle out. This is for the Making a Difference for Ukraine card class, the denim ribbon. You get the dots as part of it. So you get half a pack of doilies, half a pack of ribbon, half a pack of dots. You get a whole card pack and a whole thing of cards and envelopes. This one of my favorites for a wedding card. I just used the blends and then used a color lifter. And of course, Wink of Stella, because Wink of Stella fixes everything. But if you don't have the blends, you can just do Wink of Stella, and this would make this card very beautiful. This is the Happy and Heartfelt stamp set, which is an add-on, or you can use any sentiment that you want if you're making the cards at home. And this is the last one. I cut off parts of it. This was a regular 4x6 card, and I cut pieces off, and then I mounted it, popped it up, and the ribbon. So those are 3 cards that I have done. And of course, like I said, we're going to have other cards for you too. Let me show you these cards. These are the 4 adorable cards using the new Sweet Songbird stamp set. Every month for 5 months, you are going to get a card kit to make one of these in your color for the month. Each month you'll get your own color. So you might get Parakeet Party, or you might get Sweet Sorbet, or whatever. But the stamp set is not included. Of course, you'll need your own. But I will give you a recommendation at the beginning of the month if you wanted to purchase that. So here we go. Those are that. Okay, so this was the card I was talking about, the double Z fold card. And you can see that the reason it's called a double Z fold is because it is a double Z. You can see the Z's there. And it's really, really simple to make, and hopefully you're going to enjoy making it with me. This uses the new wave paper and not the seabed folder, but the shells folder, embossing folder, 3D embossing folder. And of course the Let's Sail Away, this is the stamp set, and this is the punch for the Let's Sail Away bundle that is in the mini catalog right now. So that's that. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of this one. Look really quick because that's all I can show you. But this uses the tulip paper. Okay, so I told you I was going to do it with the pansy paper. So this is what I've decided to do. I'm gonna find my glasses. I think I have everything today. I don't think I have to go running for anything. This is amazing, guys. Isn't this so fun? Okay, so we have here first 2 pieces of cardstock, and I've started by cutting the cardstock basically just so that you can see. I'm going to use my paper trimmer to do the scoring. I usually have to say I love using my scoreboard instead. But so on your paper trimmer, you've got your score blade, you've got your cutting blade. Move your cutting blade out of the way if you've already cut your paper, because you don't want to cut it, because then you start over. That's what I would do on my Facebook Live for sure. So this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, half a sheet of paper. So 8 1/2 by 11. I cut it in half at 4 1/4. I am going to score this at 2 3/4. Don't forget, if you're on my mailing list, you're going to get this tutorial with the recipe cards, all the products, everything that I've used next week. So you don't have to write anything down if you're on my mailing list. If you're not on my mailing list, Get on there now. Okay, 2 3/4 and then 5 1/2. So that's basically cutting the paper and scoring the paper in half. So that's our first score. When I do this, what I do like to do, see how I scored it here? This is why I like to use my scoring tool instead of this, because I feel like I get a deeper score. But I also don't cut my paper that way. So, okay, because I've scored it in half, I do like, I'm gonna flip this again. I do like to do it on the other side because it is gonna be a Z, like we said. I'm flipping it. So now I can, when I fold this, see we've got the bump in the middle. I'm gonna score it like that, fold it, and like that. And I'm gonna just burnish those edges. So that's the first one. This is the parfait paper, peach parfait. I believe, oh my goodness, all of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. Okay, I can't put this away yet. I have another sheet of paper, the same cardstock. This is 2 3/4 by 9 1/2 inches. So I've already cut this, and what I'm going to do is score this at 4 1/4 inches and then at 7. So let me flip it over like I did the other one so that I have it nicely. It makes it easier so that the fibers don't break in the paper if you score it on the right side. So if you flip it, it makes it easier. Okay, that's that. So I've got that. I have here, oh, here's my April host code. Those are new in colors right there to do that. I've cut a piece of designer paper. This is the Pansy paper. I've cut it at 4 inches. So it's 4 inches by 12 inches. What I'm going to do first is cut it at 2 1/2 inches. So that's my first one. My first cut, and I'm cutting, not scoring, is 2 1/2 inches. And I'm going to put that right there. You're going to see that in just a second. Then I need one more 2 1/2 by 4 inches. And you'll see that I specifically chose a pattern that is neutral, that it can go either direction. So we're going to do 2 1/2 inches by 4 inches again. Oh, there we go. My blade had just popped out. Okay, let me put that out of the way for a second. I think I might be done with my paper trimmer for the cutting and scoring. So we've got here, I've already, like I said, I scored it at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. 2 3/4, of course, is half of the 5 1/2. So we got that. And then here we have our 9 1/2 inches scored at 4 1/4 and 7 inches. So my bump goes in the middle. So I'm going to flip it like this. And then I'm going to flip this one like that. And that's going to go the other way, but we'll get to that in just a second. So now I have a piece of Whisper white paper, and I'm going to put that right here. And you'll see that's the same as on here. It's just my background paper. If I wanted to, I could certainly take a contrasting piece of paper, either designer paper, or maybe I could do it in a contrasting cardstock color and emboss it, because you're not going to be writing on this piece of paper here. But I do have it in white, so let me add that with just a little bit of my green glue, because you guys know I love my green glue. And I'm just going to stick that right there. Hopefully you can see. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is take this piece of Pansy Petals paper. It might be the Pansy Petals, Pansy Patch stamp set with the Pansy Petals paper. So we're going to add that right here. I think I chose the one that I want on the front. So this, like I said, 2 1/2 by 4 inches. Isn't that pretty? And then I don't need to put anything there because that's all going to be covered up just like it is here with my second Z fold card. So what I'm going to do here is put this on here. Let's hope that I do this right. I probably, before I attach that, should have stamped this. But what I'm going to do is get my, I've got everything all set up to go here. This is my stamping pad. I have one of the stamps from the Pansy Patch. See, this is what my desk looks like. You know what I do when I run out of room? I move to the next table and then I fill that up. And then I move to the next table. That's why I have 4 tables down here that I can work with. I don't know if that's what your craft room looks like or that's how you craft. But boy, oh boy, when I get really messy. We're gonna see this in just, that's how that's gonna go. Can you see it? Can you see it already developing? I'm gonna show you in just a second. Okay, so I thought that this Pansy Patch paper was not too busy. So I've got my Memento ink and I've got one of my stamp sets. So what I'm going to do is, oh, I better wet it a little bit. This is one of my well-used stamp sets. So it is not as sticky anymore. I don't know if you've had trouble with your photopolymer stamps not sticking, but if you ever run into that, the other thing you can do is just clean it or run it under a little bit with Dawn dishwashing liquid. And that kind of softens it up a little bit again. So what I'm going to do is stamp that here. And you know what? I need to stamp straight. So I'm going to stand up. There we go. And the reason I'm going to stamp it there is because I'm going to take some of my ribbon, Pale Papaya. Oh my goodness, you guys have probably already commented. Peach Parfait, I don't know where that came from. I think that might have been a color from years ago. So, thank you if you've commented. You guys know me. All of a sudden I go live and I forget things. I'm going to add this piece of designer paper right here on this piece, on my smaller Z fold. This is the front that goes right there. Okay, then I've got a spot right here. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Let's set this aside for a second. I have here, my dogs are barking. Can you hear them? Of course you probably can. They do this as soon as, you know, I tried to bribe them with a treat. I don't think it worked because obviously, here they are again. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I've got 2 things that I want to do. Oh, I did figure out what I forgot. Okay, we're just going to do it like this and I'll have to do the rest later. What I have here is my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I am going to put in my #1 base plate. Let's put my non-skid layer right there. And I have the Meadow Moments embossing folder. This is one of 2 embossing folders, and this runs really easy through here. And then it says, with your standard embossing folders, you use the #3 plate. I tried it before I went live because I wasn't sure. Stampin' Up! Does a really good job of kind of giving us a cheat sheet with all these plates. But anyway, so it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything, which is why I decided that I should run it through first. So that's our first thing. And I wanted to do one other thing. So here, this is my next little piece right here. And this is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And I'm going to attach that. This is, I don't know if that's too busy or not. It's a little bit darker. Maybe I should have used maybe like, what color would have looked good? Maybe soft seafoam would have been a little bit softer and would have looked good. But we're doing what we're doing because I've already committed to this. So here we go. Gonna put that there. What I had wanted to do, and you know how I said, I think I've got everything here? Surprise, I don't. I had here the pansy dies. I don't know if you remember this designer paper, but there are 2 sheets of the 12 that are full of big and little petals, pansy petals, bigger than this. And they fit these 2 dies. And what I usually do is I have a scissor here and I cut out of the paper. Let me see if I can see it. Oh yes, I see it. Hang on one second. We're going to do that because I wanted to show you how easy this is. So here's my designer paper, and there's all kinds. You've got your pink, you've got your bumblebee, you've got your purple. This is the fresh freesia, which with probably blackberry bliss. And then I have here my pale papaya. So what I do is I just have this here. I should use that. In fact, I could have used that there, but too late. I use this sheet for all of my pansies. I would rather use this for the pansies. I wish they had put an ugly pattern on the back instead of one of these beautiful patterns, because isn't that just like it? You've got two sheets that you love and you're stuck using only one because it's the better of the two. Okay, my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I have my base plate. I've got my two number 2 plates, and I've got my pansy die right here. And look at this. This works just perfectly. What I do like to do, especially because this is not a magnetic plate, and guess what, guys? There are magnetic plates in the new catalog. I'm so excited. I couldn't pre-order yet, but there are magnetic plates. I've got my Post-it notes though. I use that so that it doesn't move on me. The last thing you want to do is have one of these fabulous pieces of paper. You cut it and it moves on you. Or you have an image that you've colored so carefully with your blends, and then you go to die cut it and it moves on you. Isn't that just the worst? Don't you just hate that? Tell me that that happens to more than just me. So here we go. Here we go. And voila, there's my pansy. Isn't that cool? So what I'm going to do, I've got one of my Harbor Freight little magnetic bowls here to catch my dies, because otherwise they are MIA. Do you know that I just found a die the other day stuck to the bottom of one of my bowls? So, okay, I'm going to pop this up. So I've got some dimensionals right here. We're going to pop this up. I'm not quite done. We're almost done with this card. I just have to put it together and stamp the white that's going to go right here. So let's put this right here. You know what would be cooler is if that had a little bit more detail. I wish, you know, I might take my black journaling pen and just add some lines, but not now. Don't dare do that on camera. It always messes up. Okay, so that's that. And then here someplace, oh, here's my white. Because this says the little things you do make such a big difference, I have also here my thank you, which is also part of that stamp set. It really has some great sentiments. Besides having 2-step stamps, and maybe 3 and 4 and 5 set stamps actually by the time you add these little beards and everything. It has some great sentiments. Happy birthday is really nice. The thank you, wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you. The little things you do make such a difference. Love you much. A little hello from me to you. I love sentiments like that are in strips like that, because I think I've told you, when I cut my insides for my cards, this one that goes 4 by 5 1/4, I end up with a 1/2-inch strip down the side that's left over. And these fit perfectly in that. Okay, so before I get everything all over, let's stamp our thank you. And I don't know if you caught that, but I just ended up getting Memento ink all over me. Let's clean that up and start over. Photopolymer, so I'm pretty confident that I can stamp this without a problem. But I do like to use my Pierce mat here for stamping photopolymer. Not necessarily for the cling stamps, but definitely for the photopolymer. There we go. Okay. That's that. That's that. Don't you love when I make a mess? Can you see what's going to happen? I'm going to get this black ink all over everything. So let me put that there. I'm going to add this right here. So I got my green glue. And I don't use a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. This is 2 1/4 by 2.5 inches. It's a tiny, it's not the same size as this square here. So there we go. Before I add this, I want to add some pale papaya sheer ribbon because I love ribbon and I love tying bows. Everybody loves doing what they're good at. And for some reason, God gave me a gift for tying bows, let me tell you, because it's just, I could never keep my shoes tied, but for some reason, because of the wonky way that I tie bows, or tie my shoes, I have been able to tie bows, and they've turned out really lovely. Isn't that so pretty? Okay, I'm gonna put that on there. So what I'm going to do here is, I like to just add adhesive to this part right here. Let me go in camera so you can see. I'm going to center this right here. Actually, am I gonna center it? This is what we're gonna do. I'm going to put this on here. See, these folds don't match up. Don't pay any attention. It's not gonna matter. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our green glue, our multi-purpose Tombow, and I'm gonna add just a little bit right there. And I'm going to flip it over. See, I've made sure it's equal on these 3 sides, right? Then what I'm going to do is flip this, and I'm only adding the glue on this side. I'm not going to add it here because then I won't be able to get my card open. So just make sure I'm just adding it right here. That's it. Flipped like that. Isn't this cool? And voila, there is my card. See how I got a little smear of something? I have a fix for it. You know how little goofs like that are little invitations for using embellishments, they say. And I have what I call, these are not carrying over, but I really love these. They're called Genial Gems. I call them Genie Gems. Aren't they so beautiful? You've got your green and your peach. And I'm going to add, with my Take Your Pick tool, I'm going to add one right there, right over top of my splooch. Let's add another one. Everybody says to do 3. So where should I put my third? I think I'm going to put it right up there. I'm going to use another little one. Let's move it right where I want it, kind of like right there. And there we go. Isn't that so pretty? What a pretty card. And you've got a great thank you card that you can send to somebody really quickly, really easily. It does take pretty much a full sheet of paper, almost, because this is half of a sheet of paper, and this is, like I said, 2 3/4 by 9.5 inches. So that's another strip. So you're left with 1 strip. Use that strip to make another card. Anyway. So this is the beautiful pansy paper, and I told you I was going to show you my pansy card, if I can find it, because I've got everything all, where did I put my pansy card for the birthday class? It got buried under my mess. Oh well, I'll have to show you that next week, my beautiful pansy card using more of the paper. This beautiful pansy paper is wonderful because it has the freesia in gingham, it has the peach in gingham, and it has a green, I don't know if I guess it would probably be soft succulent that is also gingham. And if you love gingham, these are fabulous sheets. Big 12 by 12. We used to have 6 by 6 gingham sheets, but there we go. So I am going to try to flip back upside down. You know me. You know what? I'm not going to go back because I can't figure it out why I'm upside down and where I go. But I do want to say thank you for joining me. Make sure you like my video, share it, and make sure you sign up for the my email list so you get not only notices about my classes and everything going on and the designer paper shares and everything, but you also get the recipe cards weekly. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. Keep stamping. Love you guys, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.